Hello and welcome. My name is Johanna Matthes. I'm a consultant and a trainer at HRpepper, and I'm happy to be here at the office of Camino in Berlin. HRpepper is a consulting company. We are focusing on transformation projects and organizational development. And today I'm here to talk to you about the 5 biggest trends of learning and development for the next year. So if we look back at 2020, we can conclude that we actually tried out and learned a lot of new things about learning and development, about digital learning. But we also need to establish a new mindset and a new learning culture to really improve the way we learn in the future and to really establish a new way of learning. So let's jump into the learning trends for 2021. And I want to start with the first trend. First trend is self-organized and personalized learning. So in our study with Bitkom, we found out that over 50% of the respondents believe that employees will be more self-responsible for the things they will learn in the future. It is very individual what people need to learn for their jobs, and also changes really fast what people need to learn for their jobs. So that's why in a lot of companies it doesn't make sense anymore to roll out a big learning program which is the same for everybody. But learning will be more personalized in the future because we have diverse demands inside of companies, and that's why also people need to decide more self-organized what are the best ways to learn and what are the best contents to learn. So it's not that organizations will not do anything anymore. It's that organizations will make offers, but learners will have to choose what they need. And that shows that there is a shift in the learning culture as well. It's a shift in the role of the learner. So what we also have to do as learning experts is to enable learners to learn actually and to decide by themselves what is the best way to learn. And we think, and that's also a trend in this context, that digitization can help with that. So if you think maybe a few years ahead, it will be more common that artificial intelligence helps people to find out what is the best learning approach and also what is the best content for their needs. But also today we find a lot of digital self-assessments, for example, or content libraries with a lot of digital learning content that can help us to be responsible of our own development and to find out what really fits to. Our second trend is the learning independent of time and space. So of course we saw in the last year that learning via video conferencing tools or via diverse collaboration tools is really growing, and it will continue to grow in the next years. Also, we see more and more mobile learning. Depends a little bit on the topic, on the content, but in a lot of contexts, mobile learning is really growing. And we're also seeing micro-learnings and learning nuggets, like small snippets, like videos or podcasts we can watch or listen to while we're in the metro or wherever. So the micro-learning is still a trend that will grow in the next years. Our third trend is that learning will be more connected, but also connects people. We see a rise of end-to-end approaches like highly integrated platforms that are connecting development and learning with knowledge management, talent management, performance management, change management. So all the related topics you find now connected on one platform. But also learning connects people. So if you think of approaches like working out loud, which is a learning method that creates networks actually, because it is a self-organized peer learning approach, you see that with those methods you can connect people inside of a company, like from different departments for example, but you also can connect employees from different companies to work together on their individual goals. So we see the trend that learning will connect people and that learning gets more connected in the context of technology. And this network character of learning will rise, and we will need technology, of course, to realize those networks. So the fourth trend is the trend of learning experience design. We are still experiencing learning programs that only reflect the view of the HR department, what they think could be best for the organization or the employees. But it is more and more common, and we see the trend, that it's important to find out what do the learners really need and what is the demand of the business, and then to adapt what kind of learning programs we roll out in organizations. So the keyword here is the keyword of human-centered design. We have to find out what people need to learn, what are their needs, and what is the best way to learn it, and then we can design the learning program. But also the experience itself gets more and more important. So boring theory lessons are actually outdated. In the future, we will talk even more about learning elements like gamification that makes learning more fun and interesting. And this is not only important because it's fun, but it's also important because fun leads to better learning results. And last but not least, we also see this trend in the technology. So we are seeing more and more learning experience platforms that are platforms that help me to find out the fitting learning opportunities and support also a fun way of learning. So some people say it's like Netflix for learning. Trend number 5 is to measure the effectiveness of learning programs. So digitization actually can help us to measure which trainings or other learning offerings are effective and which not. And in the long run, this enables us to improve our learning programs based on the data we collected earlier. So this is our last trend for today, measuring the effectiveness of learning programs. So those were the learning trends we at HRpepper see for 2021 and for the following years. So I hope you enjoyed it, and we want to thank you for inviting us to their office.